All right. Now that we have a good audience here, let's begin. So, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Harsh Mishra, and I am your host for the Cognitus webinar series. Thank you very much to all of you for making the time to join, and we really appreciate your audience. We have some exciting things to share with you, and we're always joined by great speakers. And today I have the pleasure of having Jeff Olson with me. Jeff is the partner for supply chain practice here at Cognitus. So welcome to all of you, and welcome, Jeff.
Thank you, Harsh. Happy to be here.
Yeah, well, great to have you also. Well, before we jump into the details of the webinar, right? So we're getting ready for Spend Connect. It's just around the corner, Dallas, Texas, 24th to 26th of October, and we will be at booth 206. So, there'll be great opportunities to meet us, learn about our Ariba and supply chain practices and things that we're doing, exciting things that we're doing there as well. As we kick off, for those, I see a few new people have joined our webinar series. And for those who don't know about Cognitus, let me just take a quick minute to share. Cognitus is a SAP Gold Partner. We are a co-innovation partner with SAP. We have various solutions in SAP stores, and we invest heavily in innovation and IP and have a few great SAP qualified partner package solutions as well for various solutions, various industries, and we'll be talking about one of them today. So now that I have Jeff Olson here, Jeff, I know we're getting ready for Spend Connect live in Dallas, Texas. So I know you have a big announcement to make with the audience, something that's going to be a game changer. So I'll hand it over to you to walk us through what this big announcement is.
Yeah, thanks, Harsh, and happy to speak to all of you today. So the Gallop Planning Collaboration tool is really it's more for your direct material planning, and it's putting together, your core, whether it's S4 or ECC, combining that with IBP and also your digital supply chain. So, or your, I should say, Ariba planning network or intelligent spend management, whatever term you want to use there. ISBN, it really it connects your business, your buyers or planners with the supplier. So there's a lot of market volatility these days. You have to be in sync. You have to really know what each other's doing, what the supplier has to give you, what you need, all of those types of things. And our tool brings that together.
Awesome. So Jeff, just would love to hear about some of the key challenges that the solution is addressing.
Yeah, so basically what I alluded to before, you get the planning visibility, you come into the areas of the planning collaboration, and what this does, in the real challenge that it addresses, is connecting the buyers and suppliers together. A lot of times you're sharing information via email, maybe even texting these days, but a lot of manual intervention to share those requirements. So now what this tool does is connect those two together via interface, and you can actually share that data real time.
So Jeff, what that means is we have a end-to-end solution in play here, right? Not just going from the planning perspective or the procurement perspective, but to have all of them integrated together. And where traditionally, I think we've all seen things fall between the cracks is lack of collaboration. So that was the missing link here, right?
Correct. Yes. So, like I mentioned, via email or just all the manual, maybe you attach a spreadsheet, say, do you have this material? Here's our plan for the next 6 months as a customer. And then the supplier either has to say yes or no, or maybe they upload it into their tools, but it's all extremely manual. And especially what we noticed over the last couple years now, 3 years, even going on with the pandemic, is the market volatility, the struggle to get those materials, raw materials, to the customers, so many different challenges and supply chain constraints.
Absolutely. Would love for you to, dig deeper into those challenges and what are the outcomes that the solution is creating.
And so some of the actual challenges that we've noticed along working directly with SAP and some of our customers, suppliers, I mentioned the volatility. The customer order promises are also they're delayed, so you can't sync those real time. A lot of inventory overrun within the customers that we're noticing. Warehouse space is money. So we always want to, and sometimes the capacity being too high, you have to get other 3PLs or other storage locations. So really minimizing your stock, your safety stock, and the actual warehouse capacity utilization. Those are extremely important factors with your supply chain. And so, also a very important consideration in some industries, you also do contract manufacturing. So I was only mentioning before about kind of that supplier customer relationship, but when you outsource some of your manufacturing, you can also see, they can look into your facility, see what your on-hand inventory, you can share manufacturing plans, production plans, all those types of factors with your CMOs, your contract manufacturers, in order to meet your customer expectations. So it's all about meeting the customer demands, making them happy, meeting your SLAs. All of those factors downstream are considered in a more proactive way here. Something on the supply chain we always like to say is it's always a little reactive. There's no doubt about that. We can never consider all the factors to always be 100% accurate and proactive up front. So this is all addressing to react quicker instead of reacting 6 months, 1 year. We saw large lead times during the pandemic. So this is viewing our customer demand, viewing the CMOs, and viewing our suppliers all connected to be very reactive in a much quicker time.
Yeah, this was really helpful. So not only is this integrated, it's also making your end-to-end process intelligent.
Correct. So, when the word collaboration comes out, that's exactly what it means. So how do we actually talk to our CMOs? How do we talk to our suppliers directly without always calling them or using email? They can log in themselves. You can log in, you get a shared view. And like I alluded to a few minutes ago, it's on a network, which means that's real-time visibility, real-time collaboration. And that's all network-based, and that's how you can drive some of these outcomes and get your reduced latency, your planning cycles, and also reduce the upstream effects in a more reactive manner.
No, that's fantastic. And now, of course, we see the benefits of the collaboration. We see the benefits of the network and the real time. Could you take us through a few scenarios where this is actually applicable?
Yeah, so for example, the paper industry was very affected during COVID. It can always be a tricky supply chain, no matter what raw materials you're talking about. But some of our customers definitely faced, whether it was due to some political issues or the backup on the ports, or just the paper mills finally kind of hitting that's a cyclical market, and COVID really drove them to have reduced product, and that led to a lot of customers not being able to get that paper for whatever reason. So something that can help in this case is, the customers are actually saying, here's the demand that we have from our customers. This is what we need to produce. Have that real-time visibility to the supplier, and the supplier can say yes or no, we can meet those demands. And that could have been throughout the pandemic. So not that this tool is brand new, but it really becomes a lot more relative in these conversations. It's a lot more useful when you're talking about supply chain disruption. Of course, we couldn't predict COVID, but throughout the process of COVID, especially in the first 6 months where these things really came to fruition, what this allows customers and suppliers to do, like I said, is have that real-time visibility and watch the demand change as it actually changes real time. And that's the biggest difference here. You'll hear me say real time probably 100 times during this webinar, but that's the truth. And that's how this actually changes the outcomes.
So, Jeff, what are the SAP SKUs that are brought together to do this?
So what's really cool about this change is, in working with SAP on this, is that before you only had limited options to use certain SKUs like supply chain collaboration, let's say, and the customers were using the entire suite, which obviously comes with a cost. And then now this merges your digital supply chain and IBP together. And also one of the biggest changes that you'll notice is you can use planning collaboration on its own. So you no longer have to go into Ariba and buy full suites of product. You can actually use planning collaboration only if that's what you choose to do in your business. So whether you have IBP or not, you can still use this tool. Of course, IBP is going to be more beneficial. It gives you a lot more capabilities. You can see very specific and share different planning views with your suppliers. But if you're only using ECC or S4 for your planning, that can be connected also. You can actually connect to third-party systems. Of course, we love, as an SAP partner, for you to use SAP tools, but it is possible to do that also. And it just helps from a planning collaboration perspective.
And thank you also for bringing this up, right? Why customers should consider this, and what specific industries are you going after in the first wave?
So the industry is wide ranging. It's any of those companies that do direct material planning. So that's many industries. You can say, you can go from discrete manufacturing to process to, you can talk A&D, which is a discrete, we do a lot of aerospace and defense customer base, but it's a very large customer base wherever you're planning direct materials and working directly with your suppliers. And something else to mention, you had the SKU question before, is that, something that some customers will struggle with is supplier enablement. How do I bring my suppliers into the network? How do I make sure that the burden on me as a customer and the burden on them learning a new tool is lessened? So SAP offers that service as part of this new planning collaboration tool. And you can utilize them, you can utilize us as a partner to reduce that burden. And typically the turnaround time on that is relatively quick.
So a lot of benefits and very little friction for why not to use this great offering.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. And Cognitus as a partner, we offer a fixed price, fixed timeline for implementing this based on your amount of suppliers. There's different tiers you can look at, depending on the size of your supplier base, and how many SKUs you want to bring in is not really even relevant. It doesn't matter how many SKUs you have, even for those companies that are large SKU businesses such as CPG with all those different types of products. But yeah, it's really, I don't want to call it a no-brainer, but it's definitely a great tool for those companies who are SAP based customers already, and even those looking to take their SAP business transformation.
Jeff, I know you told me that in this presentation you'd be only giving us a sneak peek, but I already have questions in the chat asking that what can customers do or prospects do to get a demo at Spend Connect, and what can they expect in those demos?
Yeah, so we'll have live demos at Spend Connect at our booth, which I believe is 206. So that's not a problem at all. We'll have a couple different TVs going, or monitors, and you can see this live. So to Cognitus, we have our own internal demo systems. So you can see this end to end. If you want to hone in on a couple SKUs, a couple different scenarios, we're happy to assist. And speaking of those scenarios, there's really two that we focus on. Of course, forecast collaboration. You hear the word collaboration out of my mouth in every sentence. So what we're focusing there on is actually showing those forecasts, and the main thing to do there is how does the buyer and supplier communicate effectively, and that's mainly by sharing the same screen. And I don't mean sharing your screen on Teams or Zoom. I mean, you have what you're logged into in the portal is the same as what they see when they're logged into the portal. And you also have real-time alerts, and it's all by exception. So of course, there's so many different exceptions you can have, or so many different alerts, I should say. But if you hone in on the exceptions, that's when you can actually make good decisions, quicker decisions, being that more reactive company. So here you see a comprehensive data platform, and this is the top screen is IBP. It doesn't have to be. You can also be logged into S4 and look at your MRP plans and looking directly with MRP planning in S4. IBP gives you some more flexibility, more advantages, certainly. And on the bottom screen, you can see what the supplier would see. So when they log in, you see the same trend line, you see little different colors, but similar. And then you see it broken out by week there. Depending on your planning buckets, you can, customize that, or I should say, configure that to your liking. And just talking to your supplier, and instead of emailing them an Excel sheet saying, please look at this, and having another follow-on call, this becomes a time saver and a more effective way of communication.
So Jeff, this is fantastic, right? Just to make sure what we said. So both the buyers and supplier are seeing the same data, not on their not by sharing screens, but in their own environment, right? And they're able to collaborate on it, provide insights, and this all happens in real time, providing the planners and the procurement team the ability to manage by exception.
Yeah, correct. And as your values and planning values change in your own system, hourly, daily, however you're planning your company and your business, those get pushed into IBP or even within S4 itself. And then you upload that data by a job. So it's scheduled, you schedule that into IBP, then these things go directly in the network, and the companies, so your suppliers can log in anytime and see that data. They can have alerts on also. Company XYZ uploaded some data, please take a look. And those are the kind of alerts that you can look at. In the second scenario, mentioning some of the demo scenarios at the conference, is like the external manufacturing. So a lot of companies do use contract manufacturers, some of the specialty industries, a lot of e-commerce customers or companies will do that, depending on how customized these products are for outsourcing. So what you can do with those contract manufacturers, and you can see their stock on hand, they can see yours, so you can more effectively communicate and be more reactive or even a little proactive here on supplying that material. A lot of times those contract manufacturers are relying on their customers to supply the raw material, and that is where this is a huge advantage to collaborate.
And this is multi-echelon supply chain, right? So you're not only dealing with your supplier, you're dealing with your supplier's supplier and your buyer's buyer. So really connecting it all the way through.
Yeah, correct. So that's a multi-tier situation. And what happens is that goes all the way down the chain or all the way down the tiers to do, like you said, the buyer's buyers or buyer's planners or customer's customer. Absolutely.
I think we've all been talking about agility, and both these scenarios that you mentioned truly highlight how that agility would be achieved. So thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate you taking this time to walk us and walk us through the solution, tell us what it is, and share the big announcement with us before the Sprint Connect live in Dallas, Texas. So with that, I think I want to, really thank everybody. And I think the best way to get in touch with Jeff is, on the email IDs provided on this screen. We're going to be in Dallas, Texas for SAP Spend Connect Live, 24th to 26th October, booth 206. So please, make some appointments, tell us what you want to see, and we'll make sure we reserve that time with you and show you the great solution, the great offering that we have here. So with that, I want to thank everyone for joining this sneak peek into planning collaboration tool from Cognitus, Gallop Planning Collaboration, and look forward to seeing you in Dallas, Texas on October 24th.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everybody.
Thank you.